Hi, my name is Verla Harrell, and I'm here today just to talk to you a little bit different about things that I thought might interest you. I have done some things on watercolor canvas. Now, when you do something on watercolor canvas, it needs to be sprayed at least 3 times with the UV spray, and then that way you don't have to put glass on it. It's good that you don't have to put glass on it, and it watercolor canvas is just a little bit different. If you put too much water on something that you're putting on, then it will have a tendency to lift it off. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we sometimes have a challenge with deciding what we want to paint. When I do a class with a new group of students, the first time at least, we will all do the same thing. Now, this last class that we did just flowers the first time, and then the second time we just did a landscape. And then after that, I encourage them to find their own picture that they want to paint. They need to paint, and you need to paint something that really interests you, something that's special. But I want to tell you something. You want to be careful to not do something from somebody else's artwork or from a calendar or something like that. You'll say, well, I'll just change it a little bit, and then that will make it my own. But you really need to be careful of that, because I do have some friends that actually got sued from painting somebody else's painting. Now, another thing you can do, if say you have an aunt that loved so-and-so's picture from years and years ago of the masters, you can paint that, and then what you do is on the back of it, you put that it's their painting and it was done by you and date it and so on. But that is not something you're going to put in a show. You want to do whatever is your work. Now, when you paint something from one of your photographs, that's fine, but you can paint from someone else's photograph if they've given you permission to do it. But just remember that it's all right just to be yourself for what you paint, for what you like. Sometimes we try to be like somebody else, but it's good for you to be yourself. It's good for you to find your own journey. I've tried to help you through several videos of things that I've learned in my painting journey, but that doesn't mean you have to paint exactly like me. Look, I'm kind of old, but I'm still learning, and I'm going to learn from other people, and so we learn from each other. So be yourself. I just encourage you to find stuff and then start looking outside and see what you can see. You can use your fingers and look at something and see, oh, that's pretty good. Well, maybe in this space you need also something from over here. Well, try to take your pictures, and like I'd shown you earlier, how to cut some of those and put them together. Like this picture that's behind me, I've had to do that a couple different photographs. I think I did 3 to do that one. It's just good to do that. But today, I want to specifically talk to you about some of these things. Now, this one is a neat little picture, and it's just a little mountain scene, but it's on watercolor canvas that's from a tablet. So it's nothing but just the paper that's watercolor canvas. And so this little guy has been sprayed, and it's just a soft little watercolor. It just was fun to do. So you can do them in different sizes. Now, when I did this one, I have to show you this one. This one's kind of special because this one, our son and our middle grandson, when he was 10, he went on a hunting trip with them, and my son took this photograph of this big tree and this little tree. So this is called Father and Son. This is on watercolor board, so it's hard. It's hard, and it's still canvas. Now, I want to show you something, because I'm going to call your attention to this on all of the snow things. All of these pictures that I'm showing you of these bigger ones today have snow in them. So look at the lavender. When you look at snow, it's not just white. It'll always have some color in it. So this one really leaned to the lavender. I still use the gray, the gray that I mix with the orange and the cobalt blue, but then I put the touch of lavender with it, with the shadows. It's really important to show the shadows so that you see how the hill is with the snow. I love this one. And then look at the trees in the distance. So see, you can really get a neat touch. And then I love these aspen trees. Oh my, our Colorado aspens are awesome. So this is a special painting to me. And then I have to show you this one. This one is kind of a story. You know, we had a bad flood in Colorado several years ago. And so this one was painted before the flood. I went repeatedly. I think I spent 3 or 4 days, about 12:10. Regularly, I went up to a road and I parked off at the side in a driveway, and I painted just the sky and the mountains. And the reason I had to go that time of day every day is because if I didn't, the shadows were different. So if we had a cloudy day, I couldn't go. So then when the sun was shining again, I knew it was about 12:10. I had to be up there because the light would be changing. So that's how I painted the mountains. Then I went down to Pelling Crossing and I painted this. And after the flood, this was gone. It was a mess and they had to block everybody out of it. Now they fixed it so you can go back in there. But the thing that's neat about this is called first snow, because we had this first snow and it was cold, but we had all of these fall colors at Pellet Crossing. It was just beautiful, and they had this little lake. Now I have to tell you, when I painted it, that little lake was not really there. It was clear over on the other side. But to make it pretty, I cheated and I put the little lake right there, because there is a lake there. It's just on another side. But I love this painting, and it's also on watercolor canvas, but it's a board. Now I have to tell you, I've done another painting that I was not happy with, and it was watercolor board, and that piece of board was so buckled, it was a mess. You could not get the thing to lay flat. So you really want to get you a good quality, a Frederick's, something like that, of a watercolor board, because if you don't, it's going to buckle bad on you. Now, I love showing you this picture. This picture is called Snowed In But Warm. This was my husband's hunting camp, and they had a big snow. And so I wanted to make that show that the snow was there. So what I did, I painted all this thing, and he would instruct me how that tent was, because I wasn't quite getting it right. Now you notice I've got eye stoppers. I've got trees on both sides. The photograph was not exactly like that, but I fixed it so I've got eye stoppers, and I really like to do that. And you'll see how the smoke is coming out of the chimney. Well, and you'll see that there's speckles of snow. Well, I want to show you what I did. This is Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White. Now what I did is I put a little bit of that in this dish, and I put quite a bit of water with it. I made sure that all my watercolor was totally dry. And then I took my little brush, and I wanted to make it look like that smoke was coming out of the stack. So I put that on there, and doesn't that look like it's coming out? I love it. And then what I needed to do, because I needed little specks of white on there, so I took my acrylic paint and I did the same thing in a dish. I fixed a big bunch of that white and put lots of water with it, but so that it's still white. And then I used my toothbrush and I rubbed it. I rubbed it in the dish like so it was really speckled. It looked just really full of paint. And then I go like this with my thumb, like that. Go like that. And I fleck it and fleck it and fleck it. And then it makes little tiny snowdrops all over that thing. And I love this painting. So after they had this snow come, then the snow started so bad that they had to get out of there. And as they were going out the next day, the snow was clear up to the horses' necks. And it was, they were fortunate just to get out of there and be safe. So that's a part of the story of that. You know, I want to encourage you to find what you like to paint. Now, some people ask me, well, do you mainly do landscapes? What do you like to do best? You know what? I like to do whatever I'm doing at the time. I love to paint flowers. I love to do landscapes. I like to paint people, and I love to paint animals, so I don't do the same thing. I guess, and even for mediums, I do a variety of mediums from time to time, but you know what? You can find what fits best for you. And so it's all right. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. Just enjoy being yourself and find out what you like to do. And and you know what? I don't care what it is. When I look at some of my paintings that I did years ago, I think, why did I do that? But you know, we all learn by practice. We learn by trying again and trying again. And I can't tell you how many times I've sent up a painting and it's got glass on it, and then I think, why did I do that? That needs to be changed. Well, from time to time, I've taken the thing apart and I've changed it some. So you may find that there's nothing the matter with it. That's one thing that's neat about doing watercolor. And I have to tell you, some people have asked about oils. So at some point, I'm going to show you some of my oils because I've done a lot of oils, but my main love really is watercolor. But you find what your love is. I know you can. There's so much to do and so much wonderful equipment to work with. And you just want to be wise in what your choices of equipment are, because you'll get a better piece, you'll get a better piece of art if you have good supplies and good quality paints and good brushes. So think about that, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, and I'd appreciate you subscribing to my channel. Thank you.